All right, so what I want to do is show you the functions of select that I think are most relevant to our course. I'm going to click the S icon, which is select, and you'll notice at the bottom a whole other panel of options opens. You can select something automatically by freehand, in a rectangle, or with an ellipse. The only one I ever use here is freehand because that seems the most relevant to what I'm doing and what we're going to be doing in this class. So you want to be sure that first when you select something that one of the bars at the bottom is always highlighted, and Procreate will save the last one that you used. Then as soon as you select something, you will have access to the functions at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I've got the select option. I've got clicked. I want to be sure I'm on the right layer because sometimes I think I'm working on the wrong layer. So one of the hints is if you try to select something and it doesn't do anything, chances are you're on a different layer. So I'm on the right layer here. So I'm going to go back to select, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a circle right at the top part of the design. The first thing I want to show you is the copy and paste. What that will do is the thing inside the selection circle, it will copy it and it will paste it to a layer within your canvas. So if I go here, you'll notice now I have copied and pasted what I selected from this drawing. So here's the drawing, the top of it is my cut and paste, and it's exactly the same, right? And one of the nice things about Procreate is that when you use this technique or you duplicate something in a layer, it keeps it in the same place. It doesn't move it for you, okay? So that's the first way that you can use the select tool. I'm going to go back down to my dress motif. All right, I'm going to go back to the select. The next thing I'm going to do is show you the feather option that's at the bottom. These are the ones that I use the most, right? So I'm going to take my select option and I'm going to draw a circle around the skirt. And let's say I felt I wanted to soften that edge. I do this a lot when I'm trying to blend things together. So I've selected it, I'm going to hit feather, and then I can choose a scale where it will basically blur out the edge. The higher the number, the more the blur. So I'm going to move this to about 4, and then I'm going to go up here and hit the wrench and hit cut, and you'll see what it's done. It has removed the piece I wanted, and it has softened the edge. It does not add it as another layer, right? So if you make a boo-boo, then just tap the screen twice with your fingers, which always you go backwards, or you can use the backwards arrow on the side. All right? And those are really the two tools from here that I think you will use the most. Let me show you another way to use the select tool that I use a great deal. So let's say I want to take something that I have found online and put it in a design. And here I've got this shoe, right? I just want the shoe, I don't want the part that's around it. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to be sure I'm on freehand, and I'm going to take this stylus and trace around it that I want. Okay? And you can do it by clicking and it will connect the dots. You can do it freehand. I'm doing this a bit quicker than I would normally. Right? Now, to get that shoe, I'm going to come down here to copy and paste, and when I open this up, I've got the shoe. All right? The other way that you can remove the negative space around this that's easy is hit freehand, and what I first do, I do like this. I go around here, I remove all the space this way, and then go back and remove this little bit. Right? But it's a lot easier to do the copy and paste method. So one more time, that is, open up insert the photo that you want. We'll do the hat now. Then go up here to select. Be sure it's on freehand. Take your pen. Careful, I do this all the time. Careful, then come down here and hit copy and paste. It keeps the original image and it leaves you the second. One of the reasons I like to leave the original image is that I can group them all together so I never lose them in case I make a boo-boo. So what I would do in that case is I would minimize that, minimize this, go ahead, insert another photo. Let's do this hat. Hit select, do the same thing. Copy and paste. Then I've got my two hats that I want and my two standard images. So what I'm going to do, since I want to keep these images, I want to keep this image and this image in case I make a boo-boo, I'm going to group them. So here's to see if you remember, how do I group them? I'm going to take this image until it kind of gets a little bit larger, move it down and stop right at the blue one, let go, and now I've got a new group. All right, so let's show that again. Take your finger or your stylus, and I'm going to press down where it says inserted image, and you will see the layer changes a bit. Now I'm down and put it blue and hold it on the blue and let it go, and now I've got a new group. And that way, I've always got these pieces in case I make a boo-boo. All right? So that's the ways that I find the select image being most helpful in terms of how we make costume designs. And let me show you something else about the feather option here. So let's say for some reason I'm going to duplicate this layer. Sometimes I want to use the feather option like this. Let's say I decide I want to make the hat slightly different. I can go ahead and I can select this portion of the hat. Let's say I want to get rid of that rosette on the side. Okay, I'm going to hit feather, about 3, and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to cut it. Okay, now what I can do is I can take that hat and I'm going to go ahead and put another, let's say I want to put another hat on top of it. Close that out, open this one, do the same thing here. Whoops. So if you get this screen, it means you're working on a layer that you don't think you're working on. So open the layers and it will show you that I'm actually working on the layer that's not highlighted. So when I click on that, now I can hit cut and it will cut that. Then I can take this hat layer and I'm going to go to the arrow, and you'll notice it is selected, and I'm going to hit flip horizontal, and now I can open up this hat layer, grab the one I was just working on and put them together, and now I have made a completely different styled hat. And if you look really closely, you'll see, with the exception of the top, you can't see that there was a different side to that hat. So that's the way that I think the select tool is most relevant to us in this class.